Hey, good morning, guys. Dana Tucker here. And today we're going to talk about proxies. And a proxy it's really simple and it's also very complex in the same words. Basically, what it does is it gives the unit owner the right to allow someone else to cast their votes. Okay. If you can't be there for some reason, you're going to be out of town or you don't think you'll be able to make that particular meeting, then you have a right to allow somebody else to cast your vote. Now, with that being said, and we're going to be talking strictly about homeowners associations or condominiums, okay, HOAs. And the two types of those proxies are what you call instructed and uninstructed. I believe that's the proper terminology. And what it does, one, you can allow the other person to vote however they see fit. And the instructed is to where you want your vote cast a certain way, and that's what they have to abide by. Okay. And that's really basically, we're trying to do this as basic as we can, the two types of proxies. So up on the website, if we go to downloads, and we're going to find out where this is in our own documents, and we're going to come down to our bylaws, and you'll hear me refer to two different pages when I do these videos, and even when I write. If you look at the very top, it says Book 1725, page 1143. This is what is actually registered through the Prince William County Courthouse. These are official state sanctioned documents. And that's why, as a unit owner, you are absolutely 100% under contract to abide by them. That's what they're there for. Now, the second page reference you'll hear me refer to is right up here. And this is in a PDF viewer. So, right here, we're going to go to page 6. And we're going to go to section 8. Sorry about that. Went one too fast. So, here's page 6, and here's section 8. And it clearly shows proxies. Okay. Now, there's also a section with the Virginia Condominium Act, and that's at 55-79.77, Section D, and we're going to look at that as well. But as far as our own documents, it clearly states what a proxy is and who you can assign that proxy to. Now, there are a lot of HOA documents, bylaws, that do not have one particular phrase in there, but ours does. Okay. And it says right here, a proxy may be granted by a unit owner in favor of another unit owner, a mortgagee, which is simply someone that holds the mortgage on your property. It could be a bank. It could be a trust. It could be anybody that actually holds that deed until you pay it off. The declarant, which is no longer in existence because that goes back to the original building or builder, or any other duly designated person. This could be your brother, your sister, your uncle, your friend. A lot of HOAs will say you can only give your proxy to another unit owner within that HOA, but ours does not state that. It clearly states the opposite. Okay. Now, here it tells you that the proxies must be dated, duly executed in writing, and witnessed by someone other than the unit owner who shall sign his full name and address. So if you give this to your sister, per se, or another unit owner, then they have to put in their full address and they have to sign this document. This is a legal document, okay? And you have to have your I's dotted and your T's crossed. And it goes on to such proxy shall be valid only for that particular meeting of which the proxy is designated and must be filed with the secretary before the appointed time of the meeting. Now, Some HOAs will try and put restrictions on this. You have to have it in a week before. You have to have it in 24 hours. But truly, this is not what this document means. It's not what it says. It says you have to do it before the actual meeting. And that can be interpreted to where, if you get there 15 minutes early, you go up, you hand it to the secretary, and you say, I have this proxy. And then they will look at it and they will make sure that everything is filled out properly, because if it's not, your vote will not count. It does not count. You may get upset, but if it's done not proper, or if it's not done properly, it doesn't matter. And that's the whole thing about this. You want it to be 100% legal, and that way your vote will matter, and it will convey your wishes to the board. Now, it goes on to say any proxy so filed shall be deemed revoked only upon actual receipt by the person presiding over the meeting of notice of revocation from any owner of such unit. In other words, if you change your mind, you're going to have to send the person, which is normally your president of your board, an affidavit stating, hey, stop, I've changed my mind. I do not want this proxy to go on. I do not want it to be valid. And it says a proxy is not valid unless it is dated, witnessed, aforesaid, and signed by the unit owner or by any person having authority to execute deeds on behalf of the unit owner. If somebody has power of attorney to where they can make decisions on your behalf, this is what this is referring to. Okay? And it says, except with respect to proxies in favor of mortgagees, no proxy shall be valid for a period in excess of 180 days from the date of its execution. Now, this particular phrase, this last sentence, has been changed. And it's changed through the Virginia Condominium Act. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at that and see what that tells us. So we're going to come back to the website. We're going to come over to where it says links. We're going to come down right here, very first one, the Condominium Act. Okay, guys, now on that particular link, their website is down at this time. So what I've done is I've come over to the Virginia Decoded website, and this deals strictly with Virginia law. Okay? So we're back, and this is the exact same thing as the other website. So we're going to go down to section D, and this deals with proxies. Okay? Now, if you remember before, I told you there's some differences we have in our wording in our documents compared to theirs. So this is what we're going to go over, because everything else, the language is just about the exact same thing. So here, remember I told you there was a time limit on it. And now it says that any proxy shall terminate after the first meeting held or after the date of that proxy or in the recess or adjournment of that meeting. So basically what that means now is you cannot have a blanket time on your proxy. Your proxy is good for that meeting and that meeting only. And with our particular HOA, our property management company states that, they will send you this proxy form when they notify you of a meeting or a special meeting that requires a vote. And they also request that you send your proxy back to them. So, is it lawful? Not according to law. Do I recommend doing it? Absolutely. If that's what they want, then go ahead and provide them, with what they're requesting. It shouldn't be any harder, unless this is just last minute and you say, okay, well, I just couldn't get to it, but it should still count if you give it to the secretary before the actual meeting, because that's what it says in our documents. Okay? Now, the second thing that it changed, or that it added to it, is the proxy shall include a brief explanation of the effect of leaving the proxy uninstructed. And what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to another website, and I follow this website. They're very good. They've been at it a long, long time. This is a group of attorneys, and all they deal with is condominium and homeowners association law. They're very, very active. And this is the article here, but what I wanted to bring up was their legal definition of the instructed or uninstructed. A proxy may be instructed or uninstructed. An instructed proxy dictates that the proxy holder how to vote on a given issue that is coming before the membership at the meeting. An uninstructed proxy gives the proxy holder complete freedom to vote for the grantor as he or she fits or sees fit on any issue. So basically all this means is that when you give someone your proxy, if it's uninstructed, then they can vote however they see fit to vote on any issue under your name. Now, if you give them an instructed proxy, it means that they are simply casting your vote on how you want to vote. That is just like you were there in person. Okay? So I hope this has helped display some of the myths that deal with the proxy. Like I said, it is a simple form, but in the same token, because it is a state-sanctioned document, it is also very critical that it is filled out properly and submitted through the proper channels that has the proper information attached to it. All right? Stay safe. Help your neighbor out. If you see something that needs improved, contact your community. Contact the board. Go to your HOA meetings. Let your voice be heard. You truly have the power within your own community. Make no mistake about it. When enough homeowners come together, you will run your own community. The board is simply an entity that does your official bidding. Okay? And that's just how easy it is. All right, guys. We are out of here.